Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. So today we're taking a pretty fascinating journey into what is, let's be real, one of the absolutely most stressful parts of modern life. And to really bring this to life, we're going to dive into a 2D animation motion video and use a stickman character to explain exactly how all of this works. Seriously, just think about our 2D animated stickman friend here. He is completely stressed out, just staring up at this towering, almost insurmountable mountain of heavy bags. And every single one of those bags is labeled with a $sign. That mountain, that's his debt. It's the student loans, the credit cards, the car payments, medical bills, the whole shebang. And hey, if you're tuning into this, there's a really good chance you know exactly how he feels. It's overwhelming, it's paralyzing, and it kind of feels like you're literally never going to reach the top. But today, we are going to break down the two most popular systems out there designed to dismantle that mountain, bag by bag. We're looking at the debt snowball and the debt avalanche.
I'm going to be totally straight with you right out of the gate here. If you are currently drowning in debt, kind of like our stickman, you've probably been told like a million times to just do the math, right? Just crunch the numbers. But here is the profound truth. The math doesn't care about your feelings, but your plan absolutely has to. This is exactly where so many people get completely stuck. If you're frozen at the bottom of your own debt mountain, it's highly likely because you're forcing yourself to follow cold, rigid math, when what your human brain actually needs are psychological wins to actually cross the finish line. We aren't robots, you know. We're emotional creatures, especially when it comes to our money. So to really understand how to conquer this, we have to look at how our brains actually process this challenge.
So, our stickman is trapped in this brutal dilemma. On one hand, we've got cold math. Think of it like a calculator. It's logical, it's completely unfeeling, it's pure numbers. But on the other hand, we have pure psychology, represented by the human brain. It's all about emotion, motivation, and momentum. You've likely heard of both the debt snowball and the debt avalanche before, and this exact conflict is exactly what separates them. One strategy is rooted entirely in the pure, cold math of the calculator. The other is rooted entirely in the pure psychology of how your brain perceives progress. And honestly, understanding which direction you naturally lean toward, that's the absolute secret to getting debt-free.
Okay, let's actually dive right into this first strategy. This is the debt snowball, and man, it is the ultimate psychological weapon for our stickman. The concept here is remarkably straightforward. You list your debts from the smallest total balance to the largest total balance. And here's the kicker, the part that drives math nerds crazy: you completely ignore the interest rates. Like, you pretend they don't even exist. Just picture our stickman rolling a tiny snowball down a hill. It starts small, almost insignificant, but as it rolls, it gathers snow, gets bigger, heavier, and faster until, actually, scratch that, it becomes a completely unstoppable force. That is exactly what this method aims to do with your motivation.
Let's break down exactly how our stickman executes this out in the real world. Step 1, you list the debts, smallest to largest. Step 2, ignore those interest rates entirely. Step 3, you violently attack that smallest debt bag first with every single extra penny you have, while just paying the bare minimums on everything else. So why do we do this? Because when you attack the smallest bag first, you get to cross a debt off your list rapidly. You get an immediate, tangible win. Your brain gets this massive rush of dopamine. You feel a sense of control and accomplishment, maybe for the very first time in years. Then, you take the money you were paying on that eliminated debt and you roll it right into the next smallest one. You are literally manufacturing momentum out of thin air, using human psychology to override the sheer terror of the big picture.
But maybe you're someone who hears that and says, wait a second, ignoring interest rates is completely crazy. If that's you, then we need to shift gears to the heavy-hitting mathematical alternative. Enter the debt avalanche. This method means listing your debts and focusing exclusively on the highest interest rate first, completely regardless of the total balance of the loan. So instead of a snowball rolling down a hill, think of our stickman dropping a massive boulder from the very top of the mountain. It starts high and it comes crashing down fast, obliterating the absolute most toxic, expensive parts of your debt first. You are attacking the debt that is penalizing you the most on a daily basis.
Because here's the crucial point. The avalanche is mathematically faster and it's mathematically cheaper. No question about it. By targeting the high-interest debt first, like that ridiculous 24% credit card instead of the 4% student loan, you are stopping the bleeding. Now here is the catch for our stickman. Tackling a massive high-interest debt first might take months or even years before you actually get to cross it off your list. It severely lacks those quick dopamine hits we were just talking about with the snowball, but if you have the iron will to stick with it without needing constant psychological applause, the avalanche is fundamentally the faster and cheaper route for your wallet. It's just a cold, hard numerical fact.
And when we pit these two methods head-to-head, the contrast is just fascinating. The debt snowball relies on pure psychology to give you consistency and motivation. On the flip side, the debt avalanche relies on cold math to give you maximum savings. It's literally a face-off between your need for motivation and your desire for savings. Our stickman is basically holding these two realities in his hands right now. Does he need the emotional fuel to keep going, or does he have the discipline to optimize every single penny?
And that really brings us to the ultimate verdict of this entire explainer. The honest truth? The best strategy is the one you can stick to until the end. Picture our stickman holding up two signs, one for the snowball's consistency and one for the avalanche's savings. So which is best? Well, if you need motivation, like if you're the type of person who quits the gym after 2 weeks if you don't see abs, the snowball wins for sure. But if you want to save the absolute most money on interest, and you can stay laser-focused on a spreadsheet for 3 years without losing steam, the avalanche wins. But remember this, the greatest math formula in the world is utterly useless if you abandon it halfway through. Adherence is the absolute only thing that will actually get our stickman to the other side of that debt mountain.
So I want you to step into our stickman's shoes for just a second here and look at your own mountain. We've explored the psychology and we've explored the cold, hard math. So I'm going to leave you with this question. How many debts are you currently juggling right now? Are you leaning toward the snowball to get those quick wins, or are you going for the avalanche to mathematically crush the interest? Think about your own internal dilemma. Let me know your thoughts down below, because understanding your own behavior is step one to finally being debt-free. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.